Good morning, pregame crew. How are you doing? Hope you can hear me. Audio visual check. It is Tuesday, July 27th. We're about to get this show on the road. I was going to tell y'all a story, but I'm just going to delete it. I'll save it for another time. Perfect. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Sebro, Jason, Sue, P-Court, All Natural, Henry, Tamazon, Sean. Hi, Tom. Matt, thank y'all for joining us. Hey, Roger. Perfect. Sue, you're looking for a small cap stock with gapper, EYEG. It's a gapper. I noticed it this morning on CNBC. I watched the tickers below. When something doesn't pull up on my scan, sometimes it's because my market cap constraints, they don't show the results. But anyway, this is a gapper. But I look at this and I just wave at it. It's just, you can't short. Well, you can do whatever you want. But for me, I can't short this crazy bull move up 120% in pre-market. I can't do it. And I also can't go long. This is not a setup that will make me consistently profitable. I am looking for trades every day, trade setups that continue to, we talked about this yesterday, bring my account balance from the bottom left of my screen up here. These types of charts don't do it for me. It's just not my lane. I stay in my lane. And I know I'm here to talk to y'all, and y'all have different lanes. So I definitely cover names that I wouldn't typically trade myself, or trade setups that I wouldn't trade myself. But I just don't see this as a high probability setup. It's just not for me. A lot of people make a lot of money doing these types of names. If you're interested, here's your levels: resistance 809, 849, support 668, 625, and 580. Knock yourself out. It ain't for me. It's just not how I'm going to be consistently profitable. Yo, Ronnie, Blue Dog, Michelle. Hey, Judd, Joel, Widow Puppy, Mustang. I haven't seen you in a while, Mustang, Jorge, Ohio, Naresh, Davy Baby. I like Davy Baby. I like saying that. Joel, hi. Welcome. We'll get started in 1 minute. If you're interested in my chart setup, it is on the screen now. You can screenshot it. I was going to tell y'all a story about when I met Patricia Gucci, the granddaughter of Mr. Gucci himself, and I was carrying a fake Gucci at the time. That would only happen to me. But it seemed funnier in my head this morning than reality. Okay, so I used the TTM squeeze, Thinkorswim default, CM Ultimate RSI multi-time frame. The yellow and purple lines are the 50 and 200 simple moving average. The green and red is the 8 and 21 EMA. And the yellow candles are JC inside bars. I like to paint them yellow. They just jump out at me. So in order to get started this morning, before we get started, I'm Chart Gal Lori. I am part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. We have a thriving community with lots of channels and subjects. If you're interested in only trading cannabis related stocks, we got a channel for you. If you only trade crypto and your interest is only crypto, we got a channel for you. So I do the pregame show 5 days a week, and we cover the Fab Four futures, commodities, cryptos, and movers and shakers of the day. It was really embarrassing. I had no idea who she was, and yeah. So the next time I went to this spa place in Palm Springs where stars sometimes are, I brought a real Kate Spade purse just in case I ran into the Spade family. Hey, Mohammed. All right, so we're going to look at all of the top four indices, and we're going to look at it on the hourly. We do this to try to judge strength. So this hourly 50 MA continues to act as support, and it has since last Monday when they bought the dip. if we get a candle close, and when I say candle close below EMAs, I mean the entire body. I get a lot of questions about that. So this is, you see the wicks are below the 50 EMA but didn't get a candle close below. This hourly 50 EMA is very important. If we get a candle close of the body below that hourly 50 EMA, that's going to stand out for me. We are above the 8 and 21 on the ES. NASDAQ, we're above the 8 and 21. YM, we're fighting, we're right on it. And guess who's below it? The weak one, the weak horse. So I'm looking short IWM again today. It is below the hourly EMAs. That's one of my criteria. Now we are looking for an hourly higher low here. We have enough room to get a higher low compared to 2187. So of our four, RTY is the weakest. Why is RTY the weakest? If we look at XLF, XLF is below the hourly EMAs. The number one holding in IWM are small banks. So if XLF is weak, you typically get that correlation. IWM is weak. So I'm looking short RTY on any bounce. I would look to short this 2208.70. Yesterday, I said I wasn't going to pick on it yesterday, but today's a new day. YM, we have resistance up at 34990 and 35072, support 34799. I should mention that China was extremely red. The indexes over in Asia were very, very red. If that market were to happen to us, it would be a limit down. So if you've never traded limit up or limit down, that's when they pause the market for a bit because we've hit such an extreme measure that they want to make sure things don't get out of control. So we would definitely be limit down if it were to happen here. So if that is the word predication, if it is any projection as to what's going to happen today in our markets, then we would be looking bearish. I will be watching market internals, and I'm going to spell it out. Yes, I know there's a text tool, but I like writing. I'm looking for sustained ticks positive 600, then I'm going to throw away that bearish idea, and I'm definitely not going to be shorting RTY IWM. If we have sustained ticks of negative 600, sustained meaning they repetitively hit. Let's go look at tick. I look at this on toss. It's just a little bit better. Do you see yesterday we only had 2 ticks below 600 and we had like 3 above 600. That's not sustained. Yesterday was a really mixed bag for me. The market internals were soft, yet we were still climbing, which means just a few names are carrying us higher. And that's sometimes a little tough to trade. If we only have names like Amazon or Apple that are carrying the market higher and everything else is weak, it can be a tough situation to trade in. So I'm looking for sustained ticks below 600, and then I will be bearish the market today. That means multiple times it needs to hit below 600 in a row on the 5-minute. Okay, going back to YM, looking everything on the hourly because it's going to tell the story. We have enough room for hourly high or low. And then do we get a lower high and go tighter on all of these names? NASDAQ is definitely the strongest. And then ES. You see how NASDAQ is up near the all-time high? We double topped. 15131, 15134, we double topped. So NASDAQ is strong, and that's, I'm assuming, here's my hypothesis, I'm assuming that is in anticipation of all of these earnings. We got big earnings on deck. And just interesting, I was pointing out to y'all that the XLF earnings were very poorly received, even though they killed the earnings, and there was hardly any buybacks that I saw announced. Same thing happened overnight with UPS. UPS, their earnings were a little bit softer than normal, and they made a point to say no buybacks. Just interesting, that's happening a lot. So RTY, weakest, then YM, then ES, and strongest is NASDAQ. Let me go back to ES. So on ES, we have enough room for hourly high or low, and then it could possibly tighten. This upper wick is pretty bearish on this hourly candle, showing that bears are selling into these pops. Gold. So gold's getting a little pop. We have FOMC tomorrow. FOMC tomorrow. We've been talking about this hourly 200 MA being overhead. If gold runs straight into 1812, it could be a decent area to short. We do have FOMC tomorrow, and that typically impacts gold tremendously. You have support down at 1797, 1796 and 1795. Actually, one of my favorite trades when I first started trading was JNUG or Nugget. I would buy them going into the FOMC meeting, and it'd run like this and then it would fade. I would sell that pop. So it does happen a lot. I don't do it anymore because when it didn't work a couple times and I realized it was just a guess on my part, and I cannot consistently feed my family and make money with guesses. I need solid concrete setups. Oil looks like another short to me. I was shorting it over here. I talked to you about it overnight. It went down to $70 here when I missed covering it here. So we keep running into the 72.30 area. It continues to be a nice clear area to short. Your resistance on shorter term time frames is 71.99, 72.28, then 72.33. Your next support is at 71.79, 71.46. We have API inventory estimates at 4:30 Eastern today. So if you're trading oil, just know that it can impact price, and we are breaking this 15-minute support. Your next support is down at 71.56. The weekly, we are fighting to hold this 8 EMA on oil. We've been holding this EMA since last November. We are looking for a weekly lower high. And we are still within yesterday's range. I'm just looking if this could be a swing short. It's just we're not close enough to that $75 area where we'd have to put our stop for a weekly lower high. Bitcoin, we're getting a nice hourly bounce off, you guessed it, that 50 MA. Look at the slope of the EMA, SOTIMA. I don't say that word every day, but it's something that I need to keep reminding you. Slope of the EMA. That just shows where price is really getting this parabolic type move up. You see the slope of the EMA, we're crossing on the hourly, the 8 and 21, pushing price up. However, we'd be looking for a lower high compared to 40,593. So your next resistances, you can always use these prior resistances over here as potential levels where price will pause. If you like fibs, you don't have to know fib retracement or Fibonacci at all in order to trade. The 50% retrace is around 38,503, and that may be an area where bears start to potentially short, but this is some nice bull volume. I'd be careful with a short. You have support on the shorter term time frame. Sorry about that. My iPad. You have support at 37976, 37876. Ethereum, let's do fibs on it as well. 50%, 2295. We're right there. We're kissing it at the moment at the 50% retrace. Support 225291, 224031. So you hear me say 50% retrace. Do you throw away your Ethereum long? No. Stay in long as long as these 5-minute EMAs, whether you're using the 12 and 26 or the 8 and 21, as long as we have candle closes above, stay in long. Don't get all twitchy with your positions just because someone else says something. We're pushing through that right now. So I really do like the slope of the EMAs on this Bitcoin and Ethereum on the hourly showing this move. Just need a little more volume. Dash. All right, we got 10 minutes left. Dash has a daily inside bar. A daily inside bar just means this baby bar is within the mother range. So this would have been Friday. So Friday we had a large range on Dash, and yesterday we just stayed within that mother range. So today I would be looking to play a break. So support 182.64, resistance 188.32. I like this squeeze on this chart, and if it were to break bearish, actually it could be a daily bull flag. So be careful going bearish on this name. It's more bullish than anything. So your support, we're breaking support in pre-market of that 182.64. But we don't have a lot of volume, so I wouldn't say it's a big break just yet. FFIV, this is my queen of the mountain trade for the day. So I am looking long FFIV. So on the daily chart, we have this gap up here, a 204.93, which we filled it. Your next resistance 213.38. So I'm looking to go long FFIV. They had earnings after hours. Look at this squeeze, man, just beautiful. You see this? Gorgeous squeeze. Price popped with earnings, and they got 7 or 8 upgrades this morning. So what I'd like to do is buy a pullback. I'd love to buy a pullback. 202.19, 203, 202.19 are your supports. A kiss back to the 5-minute 21 EMA could be a potential buy opportunity. And the way I trade this is I would look for FFIV. I haven't even pulled up this option series to see how liquid it is, but FFIV, I'd probably look at the 210 calls for this Friday, and I would look to flip them. And when price starts to hesitate, that I would sell it. Yesterday, one of my trades was MSTR. I didn't go over it in pregame because I didn't see it until it started getting some action in the room, in the Chart Guys community. I saw someone mention it. And so yesterday I traded this pop up and I sold it. I bought it on the pullback, and then of course I didn't hold it all the way to 695, but I am looking to sell pops on options. Same thing with shorts. I shorted MRNA yesterday. And when we broke this support, I went short. I didn't hold it all the way down here. Shame on me, because it looked like it was getting a falling wedge in this area, and then I covered my short. But with options, I sell into pops or on these fades. I like to sell into that weakness on a short, sell into the strength on a long. So FUBO. So FFIV, I'm looking at playing long today. FUBO. And FFIV could gap and crap, or it could gap and go. I'm looking for gap and goers. So you have resistance at $27, $27.21, support $26.50, $26.12. This one's on my radar because of John's charts in our room. Here are your little daily EQ. We got this tightening pattern getting really, really tight. Look at this squeeze on the 4-hour. When we get this type of squeeze, if it were to pop to the long side, I'd be looking for calls, and same thing to the downside. My bias is to the long side on this chart. If it could come down to 26.12, that'd be a great area to buy. I don't know if we'll get that opportunity. MRNA, this chart has been an extreme bull. Look at all these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows on the daily. I'm looking for some consolidation. If it could pop into 34330 area, would love to short it. I'm looking for a short on MRNA on a pop. Netflix looks like it has a daily. I'll clear all this out. It looks like it has a daily bear flag. We are running into the underside of a very flat 200 MA. We have a bearish 8 and 21 EMA cross. Now, Netflix hasn't been on my radar because earnings were last week. And now, for me, this is a sleeper. It's boring because it had earnings last week. But when I see a really clear bearish setup, I'm not going to ignore it. So your resistance, 517.27. 517.37, 521.13. If the market is bearish today and we could get to around 519, 520, would love to take a short on Netflix. Tesla with earnings overnight. Pretty muted response. And Dan commented yesterday on live that 2020 Tesla was one of his #1 stocks, and now it's gotten real boring. I set this alert for our class that we had on Saturday to show something. But anyway, it has gotten really, really tight. And so we just continue to tighten within this range on the monthly EQ. 65961, 668. So your resistance is the after hours reaction, 67835. Let me give you shorter term, 67250, 67439, 675. I hate to make these statements because I have to be very, very careful. But with the size of this range, odds favor we could just stay within this range all day long. And it's just a big premium crush. And that would make sense. We are holding this 15-minute 50 MA here. So next resistance, 672.50. TTD, I like to the long side. TTD, we got this little bitty squeeze. We had a little bit of volume on Friday, and yesterday we stayed within that range. So your inside bar, you had an inside bar yesterday, and that resistance 81.91, that support 78.76. They have earnings next week, I believe. Don't know why my mouse is not working. So resistance after hours 82.14, 82.30, support $81, 80.78, and then down at 79.31. So we have a daily inside bar. I like this to the long side. if the market is cooperating, and that goes without saying on every chart, if I'm looking to the long side, I want the market to be in the same direction. So we do have this hourly TTM squeeze on TTD. I like it to the long side. Twilio got an upgrade over 40260. I like it to the long side. Support 39578. QQQ is definitely the strongest out of all of our indices. You have resistance at 36880, 36889. Thanks, Joel, for that. Yeah, you know what? I think it was a big miss yesterday for me to fail to address the crypto stocks and the Chinese stocks yesterday. Shame on my part. The problem is I can't tell you to short in the hole. So then all of these names are just absolutely crushed, but I can't tell you to go long and fight this bearish news. So it was a tough spot, but the crypto stocks I could have spoken to yesterday. So that was a miss on my part, but obviously I suffer from this human condition and I'm not perfect. So I will look at JetBlue. And I don't do leaps anymore. You have to do them pretty deep in the money. They are pretty expensive. We have people in our room that successfully do leaps like ATAN. It's just not something for me. SPY, you have resistance at 440.71, 441.16, support 438.72, 438. It would not surprise me for the market to come in a little bit today, prepping for earnings, FOMC. I don't want everything running hot into Apple earnings, running hot into Amazon earnings. I want the earnings to lift us. So it's nice to get a little bit of a breather before we go into those big events. So BABA, I can't tell you to short it down here. You're shortening the hole. Look at this, daily RSI 32. But how can we go long these stocks when their government is just really making it hard for them or hard for us to look bullish? BABA resistance 187.45, 192.34, support 184.50, 184.14, and 184. Our room really killed TAL. I did not trade it yesterday, but we had a lot of people buy that dip yesterday and get this nice pop, amazing pop, and it just did a round trip back to the low of the day. Same thing with EDU. Nice pop, round trip, and broke the low of day. So these Chinese stocks are just really tough to short in the hole and really tough to fight the government and go long as well. Okay, CMG for Tamazon, and then we'll look at Riot and Mara. CMG could be a 4-hour bull flag. So we had this beautiful earnings run last week, and we just had some healthy. And how do I know it's healthy? We're holding this 4-hour EMA, and the bear volume is low. So right now we have healthy consolidation on CMG. Your supports are yesterday's low, 1803.70, then 1800 psychological, then 1784. Your resistances are up at 1834 and 1831. Just healthy consolidation. Riot, beautiful bull volume yesterday. Your next resistance is up at 37.28. Your resistance on the hourly is 32. We're breaking through that. 33.23, 34.72, support 31.69 and 31.68. So this looks like the Bitcoin chart where we had this big pullback and we're having a beautiful bounce, but odds favor a lower high compared to 34.72. The 50% retrace is around 33.21. Mara. Same thing here. Resistance 29.97. 50% retrace 28.61. We're looking for a lower high compared to yesterday's high. Now, if Bitcoin keeps going, then and it were to break yesterday's high, then we could possibly get over this 29.97. But look at the size of this pullback when you really zoom in on the 15-minute. Odds favor a lower high compared to that level. XBI. Okay. 123.67. We held it yesterday. We lost this support of, no, we didn't. We're still holding 123.94. 123.94 is the level, and 123.67. Aggressive bulls will be looking to buy this dip down at these supports, 123.94. But if the market is weak today, then we could possibly go through those levels. All right, that's it for me. Dan will be live, I believe, or Jason, I'm not sure. Let me go see. Oh, it's Jason. Jason is live. Okay. So basically what Dan told us was PTO, prepare the others. And we are prepared and we are ready to go. All right, that's it for me. TCGers, I'll see you in the room.